If you're a man over 60, there is a hormonal shift happening inside your body right now that you have probably never been told about. It is not your testosterone dropping. That part you know. That part you've been warned about. That part has been the subject of every men's health article for the last 20 years. It is the opposite hormone rising. Estrogen. Yes, estrogen, the hormone you have always associated with women. Here's what the research has documented, but what most men have never heard. In older men with rising body fat and declining muscle mass, estrogen levels can climb to ranges that are typical of younger premenopausal women in certain phases of their cycle. In some cases, higher than the levels found in postmenopausal women who are not on hormone replacement therapy. You read that right. By 65, many American men have higher estrogen than their wives, and almost none of them know it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why estrogen rises in men after 50, the three mechanisms driving it, the specific symptoms it causes, and the practical steps research has identified for bringing it back into balance. Stay with me until mechanism number 3. That's the hidden one, the one almost no man connects to his hormones. And it's the one quietly raising estrogen levels in millions of American men over 50 right now. First, let's clear something up. Men have always produced small amounts of estrogen. It is not a female-only hormone. In healthy younger men, estrogen plays important roles in bone density, brain function, and cardiovascular health. The problem is not estrogen itself. The problem is when estrogen rises too high in older men, or when the ratio between testosterone and estrogen tilts dramatically out of balance. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism and longitudinal data from studies like the Framingham Heart Study has linked elevated estradiol in older men with measurably higher risk of cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, fluid retention, mood disturbances, and reduced overall vitality. In other words, the quiet rise of estrogen in older men is not a curiosity. It is a real, measurable, modifiable health issue. So how does estrogen get high in men? There are 3 main mechanisms. Mechanism number 1, aromatase conversion in your body fat. Inside the fat cells of your body, particularly the visceral fat deep in your abdomen, there is an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase has one job. It converts testosterone into estrogen. In a lean, younger man, there is very little aromatase activity. Most of his testosterone stays testosterone. His estrogen levels remain low. In an older man with rising body fat, aromatase activity climbs significantly. The fat tissue itself is converting his testosterone into estrogen. The more belly fat he carries, the more aromatase he has. The more aromatase he has, the more of his already declining testosterone gets converted into estrogen. This is a vicious cycle. Lower testosterone leads to more fat. More fat produces more estrogen. Higher estrogen reduces testosterone further, and so on. Research has documented that men with the highest visceral fat have the highest aromatase activity and the highest estradiol levels. This is one of the strongest hormonal arguments for keeping body fat under control after 50. Mechanism number 2, reduced clearance. Your body is supposed to break down and excrete estrogen continuously. This happens primarily through the liver and secondarily through the gut. When these clearance pathways work well, excess estrogen leaves your body smoothly. When they don't, estrogen accumulates. After 50, both pathways tend to slow down. The liver becomes less efficient at processing hormones, especially in men with fatty liver disease, which I covered in detail in my video on the 3 drinks wrecking your liver. The gut microbiome shifts. Specific bacteria in the gut help recycle or eliminate estrogen, and an unhealthy gut tilts toward recycling. The result is that even normal estrogen production produces higher circulating levels because clearance is impaired. Most men over 50 have no idea that their gut and their liver play a direct role in their estrogen balance, but the research is clear on this. Mechanism number 3, the hidden one, environmental estrogen exposure. This is the part almost no man over 50 has heard about, and it's the part affecting the most men in modern American life. Your environment is filled with substances that mimic estrogen in the human body. Researchers call them xenoestrogens, or endocrine-disrupting chemicals. They are found in plastic containers, some pesticides, certain personal care products, the linings of canned foods, and a wide range of industrial chemicals that have entered the American food and water supply over the last 50 years. When these substances enter your body, they bind to estrogen receptors and trigger estrogen-like effects. or they disrupt the body's own hormonal balance in ways that increase effective estrogen activity. Research from the Endocrine Society and the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences has formally identified endocrine-disrupting chemicals as a significant public health concern, particularly for hormonally sensitive populations, which includes men over 50 whose hormonal balance is already shifting. This doesn't mean you can eliminate all exposure. You can't. But there are specific everyday sources that contribute the most, and you can reduce them. Now, here are the signs of estrogen dominance in older men. These are not random. They are the documented patterns researchers have found in men with elevated estradiol levels. Sign 1. Belly fat that grows even when total weight stays the same. This is the aromatase cycle in action. Higher estrogen in men preferentially stores fat in the abdomen and chest. If your weight has stayed roughly the same but your body shape has changed, narrower limbs, wider middle, this is one of the classic patterns of estrogen rising. Sign 2. Loss of muscle despite consistent training. Estrogen and testosterone are direct competitors in many ways. As estrogen rises, the muscle-building effects of testosterone are blunted. You can lift weights consistently and see less return than you used to. Many men attribute this to aging or testosterone decline alone. Often the estrogen rise is just as important. Sign 3. Increased fluid retention and puffiness. Estrogen affects how your body handles fluid. Higher estrogen levels in older men often produce a slightly puffy quality. Fingers that swell at the end of the day, faces that look fuller, ankles that show a sock line at night. Many men assume this is salt. It often isn't. Sign 4. Mood changes, emotional sensitivity, or unexplained low mood. This is the one most men never connect. Estrogen affects mood and emotional regulation in both sexes. When it climbs in older men, some experience emotional changes they don't recognize as hormonal. Increased sensitivity, mood drops, reactions that seem out of character. Most men blame stress or aging. Sometimes the driver is hormonal. Here's what to do. 3 concrete moves. Move 1. Get tested. Request a blood test that measures total testosterone, free testosterone, sex hormone-binding globulin, and estradiol. The ratio of testosterone to estradiol tells you far more than either number alone. Many men have normal testosterone but a poor ratio because their estrogen is too high. Standard testosterone tests miss this completely. Move 2. Address the root drivers. The single most effective long-term move is reducing body fat, particularly visceral fat. As body fat drops, aromatase activity drops with it. Strength training and protein intake matter even more after 50 because they shift the body composition in the right direction. Reducing alcohol also makes a significant difference. Alcohol increases aromatase activity directly and impairs the liver's ability to clear estrogen. Even modest reductions in alcohol intake have been shown in research to improve the testosterone-to-estrogen ratio. Move 3. Reduce environmental exposure where you reasonably can. You will not eliminate xenoestrogens entirely. No one can. But you can reduce the highest exposure sources without much effort. Don't microwave food in plastic containers. Use glass instead. Avoid drinking from plastic bottles that have been left in a hot car. Choose personal care products labeled phthalate-free and paraben-free when possible. Eat fewer canned foods or look for cans labeled BPA-free. None of these alone is a magic bullet. Together, they reduce a hidden hormonal load most men are carrying without knowing it. Here's what I want you to take from this video. If you are a man over 60 who has been training consistently and still losing muscle, who has been eating reasonably and still gaining belly fat, who has been wondering why your testosterone treatment, if you've tried it, hasn't given you the result you expected, estrogen may be the missing piece. The men who age well after 60 are not the men with the highest testosterone. They are the men with the healthiest testosterone-to-estrogen ratio. That ratio is what determines how your body actually responds to its own hormones. You don't need to declare war on estrogen. You need to know your number. You need to bring the ratio back into balance. And you need to address the lifestyle and environmental drivers that are quietly tilting it in the wrong direction. If this video helped you, share it with another man over 60 who has been struggling to make sense of the changes in his body. Most men have never been told this part of the story. Sharing this with one person you care about could literally change the next decade of their life. And please, always consult a qualified physician before making decisions about hormones or hormone testing. What we covered today is research-based education, not personalized medical advice. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through one of the most underdiagnosed conditions in men over 50, something millions of American men live with every day and dismiss as just being older. If you feel cold all the time, if your hands and feet are always cool, If you've noticed your hair has been thinning, your skin has been drier, or your energy has been low for reasons you can't quite explain, there is one hormone that explains all of it, and almost no doctor checks it the way they should. If you want to understand your body better as you age, subscribe, because the most powerful thing a man over 50 can do is not push harder, it's understand deeper. I'll see you in the next one.